Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're back, and now we are basically going. This video basically is going to be just to show you. It's very short. It's going to be short, and this one is going to be basically to show you some of the changes that I've made on the site, on our site, because I've already filled it up with content. Let me just go ahead and try and bring it over here. All right. So I
So what do
already
you want to
added
do,
a bunch
man?
of stuff to it that you can see. That
Maybe
kind of looks like what we
they've got
already
a
had
lot of
on the
really
other website. It has a
funny stuff
slider,
in wardrobe.
and it
I
works.
mean, I
Well,
don't know if
it's for my
It
way.
works fine, and it has this little tiles here with every time you hover, they go up and down. They have some content in here, and that's it. I basically stopped it there. The about page has some stuff of its own, and the contact page has a map as well as a contact form, some contact info, and then everything it works. Everything works with the light theme as well, just like the other site. And if I come over here, you can see now that there's a backdrop behind the thing, as well as if I go to the dark, which I am now, and there's a backdrop also behind the thing. So um, so I already did all this work for you. Um, the reason why I'm not doing a tutorial on a step by step on all of this stuff is because that kind of stuff will differ from user to user, from website to website. So there's no point in me showing you exactly how to do any of this stuff, because you may not end up needing all of this. You may end up needing just a couple of them or whatever. So once you start building websites and things like that, you're gonna have to learn how to do some of the particular things for your own project on your own, or by following a tutorial that is specific for that particular feature that you're looking for. But I'm still gonna walk you through the code, and I'm also gonna post a link below for where I am putting this up on the on GitHub, so that you can download it, and so you don't have to copy all of this. Okay, you can just basically go over there, download the project, or download just the SRC folder, and then bring it into your project. If you have any problems or any if you have any issues on how to absorb, or how to pick, or how to fetch a product, or a project from GitHub. There are plenty of tutorials. I have one in my channel as well, where I can teach you how to communicate with GitHub, so that you can pull the project from there, clone it, things like that. Also, how to maintain things into GitHub, and commit and changes and all that stuff, and keep copies of your own website into your account in GitHub. It's very important that you always keep accounts of this. I mean, websites this large, not like a little HTML thing, but like something like this, that React, that has a lot of coding and all that stuff, that you keep this stuff in GitHub for your own personal safety and peace of mind, because sometimes things break to the point that you don't even know what to do, or what happened. So it's always good to understand how to work with GitHub, so that you can go back to GitHub, put a piece of code to retrieve back the site to a point where it was working. Okay, so there's a lot to learn when it comes to web development that isn't just coding. Okay, so let's go over some of the code, and then I'll explain to you some of the changes that I've made that you probably don't have. So I added a few banners. This one here, for example. So that's what I did pretty much there. This React, I can just basically just get rid of that, because we're not using that anywhere. So I'm just gonna get rid of that right now. Alright, so for component, I created a component folder called about, which I don't have anything in there right now, to be honest, but that's basically where I will put any particular components that are specific just to the about page. For the contact page, I do have one particular component that I added to it that is called map. Okay, and you're going to see this in the code once you pull from GitHub, that is going to have all this stuff here. So this comes with a package that is called Leaflet, React Leaflet. So you have to add this package by typing this up: pnpm add React leaflet. So add this, so that this is in your package JSON, and let me just get rid of that. Okay, And then once you do that, go to, create this map component inside your contact page and add this code in there, and you'll be able to get your contact form here. Now, not your contact, but your map. Now, how do you basically put this in the right spot, right? Is by going anywhere and typing. There are places online where you can have latitude, longitude generators, not generators, but they turn your address into a latitude and longitude code thing, and then you're gonna put those those values in this array here for the latitude first and longitude second, and that will be your position. That's going to position this globally in the map and where it should go. This right here is just basically the height. I have it so that it's only 450 pixels height. I don't want it to be like super, I don't want it to take over the entire screen, so I just personally don't like that. The Z10 is just basically so it doesn't go over. It's the index, so it doesn't go over my my nav bar right here. Which, by the way, I made it static. I mean, sticky, so that it doesn't, so that it's always ever present. So that's another change I made over in the nav bar. And then I have this properties right here that this props that I'm specifying for the map. The center position, because I want my locator, my position to always be in the center when I load the site up. The zoom, which is basically the largest zoom, so I can see where it is, but I could modify it to 13, 14, 15, whatever number, and it just zooms out. It just gets further and further. The scroll wheel zoom is because when I scroll the site, I want to scroll the site. If I don't have that there, when I scroll, as long as I'm hovering the map, it'll zoom in and out, and it's annoying as hell. So I just put that so that I can use my scroll naturally. And that's just a class. Alright, so this tile layer right here is this little thing right here. Unfortunately, because this is free, Leaflet is allowing you to use it for free as long as you have that here. Hey, you know what? Look, it's a price to pay for. It's a small price to pay for salvation, right? So if it's free, why not? Whatever. Let's just let them have it. So don't delete this. If you delete this, it won't work. And then here is your marker. So your marker is basically position on the center. That's what's going to bring this position right here, so that it puts it on where it needs to go. And then this popper right here is just going to be a HTML thing that you can basically come in here and write the name of your business, the address, the phone number, maybe the logo. You can put it there. Just a little tiny HTML thing that you can drop in here. You can make it colored. You can color it also according to the theme. You know what? Let's just do that. This is not going to be. I'm not gonna push this to GitHub. So just do this on your own. But let's see if this works. BG white, and then dark is gonna be BG dark. So I don't know if this works, because it might be, yeah, it won't work. All right, so it didn't work because, wait a minute, let me see. Let's just see something. Let me bring it down to this here, and then let's bring this down here. Oh, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong thing. Here. My apologies. There it is. This is the one. Alright, so let me go ahead and copy this and put it in here. And let's see if it works. If it works now, I'm gonna bring that there. Get rid of this again. Come on, work with me. Let's get rid of that. Cleanliness is next to godliness, and it might still not work. Yeah, it still doesn't work. Alright, so let me see if I bring it up with the something inside instead. Oh, huh, okay, so it works within it. So maybe it's the marker. Maybe it's the marker that does that. That's so weird that it doesn't. Oh, come on. I hate when this pop-up thing happens. Now it's behind it. You know, that's pretty odd. That's pretty odd that this pop-up thing doesn't have a way to um, color the background. But maybe that's something that you can look up in the internet and figure out how to um, style the pop-up for the what's it called again, for the leaflet pop-up, how to style the leaflet pop-up, and it would tell you how to make this dark or white or whatever, any color you want. So that will be another something you can do on your own. If you want to go to the leaflet, you can look up React Leaflet and go straight to their site, and there will be some information there that you might be able to get from them. And if you look at the examples, for example, and animated, React control, layer controls, there's a bunch of different stuff here that you can probably figure out how to make it, you know, how to customize it. That is easily customizable. So, all right, so let's keep going. So that's the only thing that I added. I'm just gonna save that. What else did I add? Okay, so the text. I did some major restructuring here to the text. Okay, so that's you're going to notice. You're going to notice that. Okay, so what did I do? Let's go to another page here. There you go. So before we had this right here so that it could turn from dark to white, right? So we created this p tag as its own component right here, and we call it inside the paragraph, and we call it text, and we use that anywhere else. Now the problem with this is that the way that I had shown you before how to do it, it didn't add any spaces inside, right? So it didn't have the ability to create this space in between paragraphs. So in order to do that, I had to get a little bit into the weeds here with this, and I had to restructure it so that I can create a function inside it, and with a with a text in it as a variable basically, and then I will read that type of and make sure that it's a string, right? It's letters, and then I will split that. I will get that and split out the any time that I find any double spaces in there, and then for any time that I find any double spaces in there, I will create a new paragraph. And then inside there, I will also look for inside the paragraph, if I have any type of single split, then that will be just a new line, and I will call that a line. Then I'll render here my line along with the paragraph, and I will do that for as many times as there is a break. Or if I find a double one, then I will create a double break. Basically, I will create this, a double break. So this React fragment right here is basically the exact same thing as this. I'm just bringing it as a React fragment, but the exact same thing, okay? It just looks a little weird if I just have it like this. It probably won't even work. Yeah, I don't think it works. So whenever you don't have anything inside, no props whatsoever, you can use this. But if you're gonna be using any kind of props on a fragment, you're gonna have to actually bring in React fragment. This is one way to do it, or you could also just bring it in here and then just remove the React part, and that will be just the same. So it's the exact same thing, but I have it here so that I don't get any little red things up here and complicate my life with that. So once I have all of this, all I have to do is just basically get this function right here as a callback, and then pass inside the callback as an argument, pass the children. So instead of just passing the children like we were doing before, I'm passing the children inside the callback of this function, so the children has to run through this function before it renders, and then I'm able to get this double spacing. Now how do I use this is if I go to, this is the about page, so if I go to the about page, I'll just basically have to use a string literal, right? instead of just regular text like we're doing here for a single line. If we're gonna do paragraphs, now you're gonna have to do a single literal, but then inside it you can just go ahead and just do a double space like you normally do, right? And then that will work here just fine. All right, so we did that. That was a new thing we did. So I can close that, and I can close that text. All right, so the nav bar, what do we do to the nav bar? I know we changed some stuff here. I think the only thing is that I made it sticky. That's it. That's basically the only thing I did to it. So, yeah. Yeah. And then custom dialog. So for the custom dialog, the only thing that I did was I set up these classes right here. The background for the background for the backdrop. The backdrop behind the dialogue, like the kind of blurry or faded thing, the dark thing, this darkness back here. Okay, so I made it so that it's light for the light and darker for the dark, and then I gave it an opacity, a different opacity for the light and a different opacity for the dark, just because it behaves differently. So that's the only thing I did there. And let's keep going. So the contact form has already a lot of information that we're gonna work on this in the next videos once we start adding stuff to the form. So right now we have a form right now that we're using there and all that stuff. Now speaking of the form, so I'm gonna leave this here because we're gonna work with this soon. All right. So for the form group, I did some refactoring as well because now we're using this text area here, right? So in order to use this text area here, I added this conditional statement where I have to specify now, no, I don't have to, but I could specify that if I specify in the form group that it is a text area, like here, you see how I specified it here, text area, these don't have the words text area. But if I specify the text area, then it renders a text area, okay? It renders a text area. But if I don't specify a text area, then it renders a regular input field. Okay. And what else did I do for this? I believe that was pretty much the only thing I did. Yeah, I don't recall anything else in there. Yeah, so that's good. I can hide this. Yeah, I can hide that. Alright, the button. So what did I do with the button? I think I added this. Yes, I added this one to be able to come up with a large button because this tiny button is good for the header, but for the main site I want to use a bigger button. So I make sure that I made it as large so that I can use that as a property as well. And then all I have to do is just basically say custom button large, and it will give me a large button, like you see here. Okay, so that's the only thing I did for that. And so, and then the rest is going to be basically contact, just content. So here's a card that I'm using in different places, like this card, and I'm using it here as well. So I have different type of cards in there. Well, that's just a card. So if you look at this right here, this is a weird thing, but this is basically how I can add HTML inside of a card as a prop instead of adding it as a children. So that's what that does. So yeah, so this is the info cards, and then this is the actual card. So the card, now I have a card as a component in the global area so that I can use it anywhere I want. If I want a primary card, all I have to do is define that it's a primary card. If I want a secondary card or a ternary card. So depending on which card I want, this black one right here, this dark one, is a ternary, and then this is a primary. Secondary is like light. I think I'm using that for, yeah, this one. I'm using that for the light one, for the light color. Okay, and then everything else is just according to the color. Everything has to be the opposite color for the text on the background. So I did that for the card. And then this, like I said earlier, this is the info cards for this area right here. So let me see, section 1, I don't know what I'm using this. I think that's for the about page. I think this is stuff here, I think. Oh, that's no, that's still for the home page. Yeah, that's right. It's still for the home page because I have it in the home page. Let me close this in the home page folder. So this right here are the sections of my home page. So if I look at the home page itself, this is the home page inside my routes right here. You can see that I have the slider, info cards, and section one. So the slider, info cards, and section one. So those are my three elements, my three components inside it. So I have the components folder, I have a matching component folder for my routes folder. So this is routes home, which is my actual page, which is this that you're seeing, and this is my matching home folder in the components for my components that belong to this page, which are these three guys here. So you can see the section components here, and then the sliders here, but then the sliders also use this component called slide, which I had it here. So this is the slides, each individual slide. This is the slider that puts them together and make it work with the content in it and all that stuff in here. And the info cards, which I already showed you, and the section. So you go through that on your own and study that code on your own. There's no need for me to explain any of that stuff here. Alright, so done with the home, and then the nav bar, like I said, we didn't do anything else to the nav bar. I think we still have some work to do on this. Is kind of like, I don't like that drop down, but right now it works. It works because it's only 3 pages. But if you had like a lot of pages, a very convoluted one, it would just cover up completely. Some people like the drop down, I mean the side, the mobile menu to come from the side instead, if that's your thing. There are plenty of places that you can learn how to do that, including Tailwind itself. Everything is responsive, so you can see how everything's, you know, sizes up according to the size that you need. Everything works. Okay, so the letters go bigger and then they go smaller a little bit so that they can fit nicely. So everything works in terms of that. That's why you're gonna see a bunch of this right here, this prepends right here. So this prepends, I make sure that it works a different way for up to large, and then from large up, it works like this. So that's what basically this means, just in case you have any confusion. This means that the width of this item right here is gonna be 2/3 of the screen, all the way from the smallest to the large size, which is 1024. And then after it hits 1024, then it's going to become the normal size, which is full. Okay, so remember, when it comes to when it comes to designing responsive design, you have to do you have to go from the mobile first. So this is what it's going to do. Mobile first is going to be this all the way up to here, and then it's going to do this. Okay. So if it makes you feel better, put it afterwards. Put it after the large part. So just so you can understand, so you can read it like you would read a language, English, Spanish, whatever. Do this up to large and then do this. Read it like that. So that's one way to do it. All right, so that's basically everything that I have to show you, because that's all we did. I left the footer alone. That's up to you, whatever you want to put in there. You should know by now how to add content of your own in there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the tailwind, in the tailwind I did, okay, yeah, one more thing here. So I did add a couple of things. I think I added a couple of colors, maybe, I don't remember exactly, but I also changed the container restraints, because I want the container to always be centered. That's something that Tailwind should always have already. I don't know why they give you the option. Why would you want a container that's not centered? And I made the paddings a little bit different, because I don't like the ones that comes from Tailwind. I think it's too wide, so I made it so that it's a little bit narrower in the center. So this right here is basically the width of the container, this cards. So you see how it leaves a little bit of room on the sides, and then, you know, leave you some enough room until it gets down to the max room that you can possibly use. Okay, so that's the only thing. All right, so that's about it. I got nothing else to show you here. This was just basically a walkthrough of the code up to this point. To upload or to download the package, go to github.com/lotusms/Mediplus, and then just make sure that you come over here, and then there's going to be links in there that I added for the stack that we're using, so that you can always have it available to you. This is a public thing, so you can go ahead and use it there. So the only thing that I will be doing to this later on, after I finish this and before I publish this into YouTube, is that I'm going to go into this Firebase here, and I'm going to delete this stuff, not because I'm afraid that you're going to steal it, but because they're not going to work, because I'm going to delete them anyway. That problem, that Firebase thing is going to be gone, but I can't do it yet because I still have some stuff to show you there. But once it is there and everything is deployed and everything is recorded and everything is in YouTube, there's no need for me to keep this. So all this is going to be taken off, and then you have to replace it with your own stuff. Okay, so just remember that, and I'll add that to the description down here so that you always remember that. Okay, all right, so that's all I have for now, and I'll see you in the next one.